show is not suitable for children, sensitive men, or insecure women. Can you trust somebody that doesn't take care of their kids?
I don't trust no man on earth that does not take care of their children.
What's the biggest red flag in a relationship?
Low effort and not being honest.
Most of the time, you would think that a bad financial mistake would be spending money on clothes or vacation or like spending money on women. My worst financial mistake was buying a home.
Like a king, give me my crown. Game time. Game time. Appreciate y'all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we are back.
Welcome back. Blackout hour is upon us.
Mm-hmm.
Salute to Justice Culture. Dope merch. I've been wearing their merch a lot. One of the brands that sent me some care packages over the last couple of months. But
Justice, I ain't hating, but
yeah.
No equity, no royalty in perpetuity. I got you. My Lord. I won't act like the brand mine. I got you. Yeah.
Shout out to them. Justice_culture on Instagram. I'm gonna start putting my PO box back up again. I just got so much clothes that I had to just chill out for a minute because it was just it's too much. Like you can only intake too much clothes at one time before your whole closet is just like it's overwhelming.
Donations.
Facts. It's a fact.
Donations.
Okay, tomorrow. Do remember we got a big episode of Earn Your Leisure 6 o'clock. Shout out to the Pink Print. So that's a company that actually specializes in grant funding for businesses. We're going to be going over grant funding. We haven't done that in a while, but we're going to go over grant funding, specifically federal grant funding. That's important, especially in this climate that we're in right now. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about how to get local, state, and federal grant funding for your businesses. So check that out at 6 o'clock tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. And do remember, I'm doing a free NIL event on the 21st of September, 2 to 5 o'clock at Westchester Community College. Link is in my bio on Instagram. It's free. So anybody that has a child that is a star athlete, it's not for every athlete. We want to make sure that people actually can benefit from the information. But I am bringing an NFL agent. I'm bringing one of the top entertainment lawyers in the country. And I'm bringing a financial advisor. And I'm bringing the head of NIL for Boston College University.
Oh, that's incredible.
So, yeah, it's a lot going on. So, coaches, parents, you got star athletes, high school, going into high school, junior college, tri-state area, New York. Come through.
So if they can't play junior varsity, they can't come.
If you're on a trajectory, because some of these kids now,
for sure.
If you're on a trajectory of that, because these kids, some of these Instagram highlights of these 8th, 7th graders is crazy.
Insane, bro. I've seen some 8th and 9th graders do stuff that kids in college can do 15 years ago. That's insane.
They're doing 360. They're doing all kinds
for real. I see a kid in 8th grade do an East Bay in a game. I'm like, what? What the hell is going on?
Well, a lot of these kids is reclassifying though too.
That's the other, but have you got to get it done?
The 17-year-old,
16-year-old 8th grade. Oh, he had COVID for 2 years. I bet.
And so we got to talk about that. The reclass is getting ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, shout out to my brother Tim Martin for joining San Antonio Spurs. I'm proud of you.
As a coach?
Yeah, as a coach.
Congratulations.
I'm proud of you, brother, for real. You put in a lot of work. You helped Wimby a lot. Good to see the organization do the right thing and bring you over there. Kudos to you.
Congratulations. Yeah. That's fire.
Yeah.
Any announcements here?
Mid-roll.
Okay, mid-roll it is.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to talk about this episode. Of course, we will be talking about the Young Thug situation and it's an interesting case
from a business perspective, for the record.
From a business perspective, for sure, 100%. We're going to talk about the streaming controversies of late. The That's been going crazy. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot
to go over.
But before we start, let's warm it up. Well, before we start with that, trending topics, let's warm it up a little bit. Some financial topics. Let's get the finance in early.
Okay.
Bitcoin versus Ethereum. So
war's over.
Ethereum will never flip Bitcoin ever.
Once again, it is not a gang war. I know some people think, and kudos to Tom Lee for doing the Sailor strategy, which he got from Kathy, and Kathy got it from Jack. Amazing interview at Market Mondays live at InvestFest. But do I think Ethereum will surpass Bitcoin? No. But it doesn't mean that Ethereum doesn't have incredible value. And now that they found an ambassador for the asset, that's the new reclassification we got to talk about, is having institutional backing or an institutional ambassador to make the asset go higher. Same playbook, same. Okay. Now you've seen the lead in Bitcoin grow. It doesn't mean that Ethereum doesn't have value, but will Bitcoin be outpaced in terms of return? No. The real question for the bond market and mutual fund and ETF makers, because I'm hearing by 29, there should be 15,000 ETFs. Grotesque. Will Ethereum surpass most ETFs? And if I was a mutual fund manager, I would be terrified of seeing the Kim Kardashianification of ETFs and ambassadorship at scale, because it's giving decay in the ETF. So will it pass it? No. Will it be of higher value than the traditional index fund or ETF? For sure. Hold for the long term, you'll be good. We've been saying this from the it's two winners, two main winners. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then in a dark horse category that are thriving, XRP, and maybe one other. Same. You only need 4. You don't need 72 crypto. You don't need Cumcoin or whatever.
So Bitcoin or nothing.
Shout out to Chris Johnson. What squad gang? I mean, your job, this is the real game. The real job is to own every asset on earth that matters. So have some exposure in a secondary crypto account to Ethereum and XRP. The real thing, like what Universal does, they'll get Drake and Kendrick to battle and benefit from both, and then own the media that props up the war. We'll get into the Biden situation earlier. Your job is to own everything.
100%. 100%.
It's not one or another. What's called haram. You need intellectual property and business haram. You want to own everything and have them under one castle and make it seem like it's not yours.
Okay. Okay. Let's show this clip of this guy on TikTok was talking about why Europe, his theory on why Europe fell so soon, or why Europe is falling. So fast.
Yeah.
Let's show this clip.
Europe will fall in the next 100 years. I don't think the world is overpopulated. I think we're underpopulated. In order for civilization to maintain itself, it must have a fertility rate of 2.11 kids per woman. Historically, no culture has ever reversed a 1.9 fertility rate, okay, historically. And a rate of 1.3 is mathematically impossible to reverse. Where are we right now in Europe? France, 1.8. England, 1.6. Greece, 1.3. Dead. Germany, 1.3. Dead. Italy, 1.2. Dead. Spain, 1.1. Now, let's do a little calculation here. What is the fertility rate, the Islamic fertility rate in France? 8.1. In large French cities, 45% of children under the age of 20 are Islamic now. At this rate, in 40 years, France could become an Islamic republic. The world as we know it is just changing in a way that I feel is irreversible, and we're gonna see the outcome of that eventually.
Okay. Interesting perspective. Not necessarily a surprise, though. If you've been studying these type of things, you're already aware of this. And one of the reasons why we keep saying Africa, 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 of course, from the natural resource standpoint, from the mineral standpoint, but the biggest resource that Africa has is the people. They're one of the few continents outside of probably Asia that has a positive growth rate.
Yep.
overabundance of young people. Their population is growing when other Western populations are shrinking. Jay said Japan is on pace to be the first extinct nation,
which is insane
as far as a negative growth rate. So, okay, everybody, all the European, all these people keep complaining about immigrants coming into their country. Well, they're not producing enough people to sustain their society. They have no choice but to have immigrants come into their country. That's the part that they don't tell you. So, yes, of course, that's going to lead to structural changes when eventually you're going to have 50% of your population is going to be immigrants. That's going to change things dramatically. But yes, at some point in time, we have to talk about Western. We talked about this with the little baby clip a while ago. Western standards have lowered birth rates from a variety of different standpoints. There's a lot of different reasons for that.
Such as?
Well, one of them is a financial issue.
For sure.
Whereas on West, the more money, more problems, right? Like when you live a Western society, you have to send your kids to a certain school. You gotta, so financially it becomes extremely difficult to take care of multiple children. That's one thing. Another thing is social norms. It's not socially accepted. It's not socially normal to have huge families. They probably
7 kids anymore. That's been gone.
Yeah.
Even if you're married, it looks upon a weird. Yeah.
It gets looked down upon on a certain level. Or it's a complete anomaly on a certain level. The idea of the family structure is different, meaning both parents work, both parents chase professional degrees, if both parents are doing the same exact thing, of course that's going to lead to a lower birth rate, right? If the ambition is not to nurture, have large families, stay at home on a certain level, I'm not saying everybody has to do that, but at least that's some level in your brain. If that's not even in your thought process at all, that being a family, raising kids, doing all that's not on your thought process at all, of course that's gonna play a major part in lower birth rates for sure. I think you have to look at the amount of single people, period, right? And especially, okay, if there's a stigma that you don't want to have a child when you're single, and you're single, and there's more and more single women and single men, that's going to lead to less people having children.
Yeah.
Variety of different things. And
microplastics and the food and
then you got birth control.
Yeah.
Right. Which isn't as prevalent in other places of the world as it is in Western society. And then, like you said, unintentional stuff like the food, like different things that's affecting potency of your actual sperm supply. So,
and some of y'all going through sex depression. I saw the little study.
Depression is crazy.
Some of y'all only having sex once every 3 weeks. 25% of the population hadn't had sex in a year. I said, what the hell? What the hell? What?
25%.
What's going on with the men that they can't even? What?
Hope 20. Is that verified though? 25% of the population hasn't had sex in the last year. So 25% of the population is abstinent.
They are
or celibate. Celibate. And abstinent.
Some selling a bit for sure.
What's the do you hear that Drake song with the lotto at the end of it? You're like, y'all not celibate just because of 1 week. Y'all not
for real. Oh, the reclaiming play.
No, you're not celibate.
But I can just tell by how some people interact with me. Well, okay, reach out to me, and then they'll text me 22 times in a day about NVIDIA. I'm like, yeah, you're definitely scared of girls away. You're not getting no love in real life. I can tell the thirstiness is real. Yo, what you think of P ratio of Cisco versus bro? It is 2:22 in the morning. Why you as a grown man texting me about Cisco and CAGR ratio? Sorry. Nope. It's a different time, and this is done by design. Decay in society, because in thriving societies, you don't hear this issue have even just people being single and bragging about being single. Like when we went to Italy, it was a very family-friendly environment. Sweden, Switzerland, China, Africa. Like when you sell certain norms, there is a downside to it, and this is definitely one of them. But Europe has a whole bunch of issues that have been going on for a long period of time, and this is just like the icing on the cake. So it's interesting. And truth be told, most of the world is tired of the West anyway.
100%.
The way that you govern does not work. It is not healthy for the population. Not as smart as we used to be. Probably one of the only major assets that we have is the military force and stock market. Outside of that, almost everything else is broken. Media is broken. School system is broken. Healthcare is broken. How we raise families, how we teach. We need a reset button. And isn't 2050 the year where the minority is supposed to become the majority?
That word minority has never really
sat well. I know.
Yeah.
Propaganda at its finest.
Propaganda at its finest. 100%. 100%.
But
you know, they're actively trying to change this. Bill Gates is introduced like a 7-year birth control pill that they're trying to do in Kenya.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep. Take the pill and let your nuts fall off in the middle of the night. And William is turning into, well, he's been a comic book Marvel villain.
So here's the thing. If society as a whole generally has never cared about Africa or any country that is outside of the power structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they so concerned with overpopulation growth rates now in those countries?
To mitigate the risk of being overthrown.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's not done from any level of goodwill. I'm trying to save your country. I'm trying to help you guys out. They understand that that's actually a power. More people is actually power.
It's power in numbers.
It's power in numbers, 100%. So if they can narrow that gap, like I just ChatGPT said, by 2070, the fertility rates are actually supposed to end up equaling to where like everybody's kind of equal. So they're trying to lower
for sure
the birth rate in Africa, in Asia. They're trying to actually do that because they have no shot at raising the birth rate in Europe.
Yeah.
So if you can't raise the birth rate, the next thing you can do is try to decrease it.
Destroy. Yep. But Bill won't go over there to China because Xi Jinping not playing that shit. You gotta be careful. Now these are the real war games.
And even China has a problem with that because, you know, for a long time, China had the one child rule. That's going away with now. They actually, even when I was in China, I learned they're trying to encourage people to have more children, but psychologically that's been put in their brain for so long. It's difficult to re-engineer that. But even like that whole thing was done too because it was like a lot of times if you had a daughter, that wasn't as valuable to you if you was working in a farm, if you was different things of that nature. So
it was economic driven.
It was economic driven to have men because the men would be valuable as far as valuable workers. Yeah. But I mean, what does that do when you have a society of more men than women? That's a shit show. That's what's happening in Japan right now. People is paying to get brides, all types of, it's like a shortage of eligible female companions. So every action has a reaction, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But don't fall for it, Africa. Don't fall for it.
Please don't.
Please
don't sell out. Come on. Please don't. It's the same play every time.
What were you saying about this sex depression?
No, it's a report that came out that 25% of the population haven't had sex for a year, and then some people, I think 30% are only having sex once every 2 weeks. And I was like, it's fascinating for a couple of reasons. For one, we can have the conversation about interpersonal dynamics and how people just don't know how to communicate with each other. But the other part is some of this is playing by design. And the biggest catalyst for this, in my opinion, digital technocracy. Because I think when you actually have, and one of the reasons why I am long tech is the decay in family structure in the United States of America. In order for social media to work really well, social media is the living room now. That's because quality time amongst family has gone down, and it's an inverse relationship, which makes social media use go up. But it's sad for a couple of reasons, because it tells you that if there is an intimacy in a relationship, that there's going to be more single people. And I hate to tell y'all, everyone who be reporting like the single life is lit lifestyle, they aren't the happiest people on earth. For some, a small 1%. For the rest of the group, y'all be going through it. Y'all be crying yourselves to sleep and not fucking, which is crazy.
Well, this is an interesting case study on a few different levels. So, all right, Troy just sent something over. It says sexlessness over the past year. While not the same as never had sex, this helps show broader trends. So, for ages 18 to 29, right, reporting no sex in the past 12 months has rose from 12% in 2010 to 24% in 2024.
And that's when you should be like,
now this is interesting. This is the interesting part.
What?
For male sexlessness, no sex in the past year. In 2022 to 2023, it rose from 9% to 24%. And for females, 8% to 13%. So almost double. 24% for males, 13% for females. So the males is almost double.
It's almost 300%.
Now this we tying this whole thing in. Okay, this goes back to this red pill community. Is it red pill or blue pill?
Yes, and let's have a conversation about them.
Well, that goes back.
This time.
This ties it in. So now you have a quarter of young, and look, reckless sexual activity is definitely not encouraged.
No,
can be dangerous. So
it's damaging emotionally. That don't get talked about enough for men too. It skews a lot of shit.
100%. That's why we have to encourage marriage. That's what happens a lot in other countries as well, is that there is no dating. You're 19, you meet a girl, you get married. You have sex with your wife. That's safe sex.
Yep.
It's looked crazy upon now in America if somebody got married at 19 years old, but there's a reason for it.
It used to be a norm. Yep.
Yeah. It used to be a norm. All right. So now we got it. Okay. So for damn near 19 to 30-year-olds, a quarter of men are not having sex at all.
No social skills.
This is a direct correlation to the rise of the red pill community. Right?
Well, okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let you cook.
Because you have a bunch of angry, sexually frustrated
incels,
men that don't have money, don't have access to women, don't have access to chocha, and they do have access.
Women are a shot, please.
But
But
they do have access
to the internet.
Phone. They have access to their phone, so that leads to It's just like it's like a poor white person that turns into a racist, right? That's how racism was so able to spread, because they played upon their insecurities. They played upon, and the only thing that they had was their white identity. So it's like, all right, I don't got enough money to feed my family. I'm down on my luck right now. But at least, and then that anger hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and propaganda is pushed to make those messages.
And propaganda. So this is the same thing where it's like, okay, I'm not going to get a girl. I haven't gotten a girl in a long time. My money's fucked up. Fuck it. I'm just going to go to the internet and just start bashing women.
Which is insane. Even dudes like, I mean, from you, but see, when you have to go outside and approach a girl in a group of friends, that give you a different skill set. I've seen grown men get hurt when a woman's just like, hey, I'm in a relationship. And they really in a relationship. Like, yo, I'm like, how are you going off on her for kindly saying no? She's not even that bad to be upset about and go and cry. But I think if we're going to the top layer, it's a decay in our society. Decay in the job force, because some people meet at work, decay in education, decay in having social norms and birthday parties, like just time to congregate as a community. We're more in silos because that's done by the tech bros.
And you also got to look at what's the real effects of COVID. We still don't know. Social distancing, isolation.
It hurt.
It hurt a lot. It hurt a generation of people that still can't communicate properly, socially awkward, variety of different things. What's the side effects of this Instagram world that we live in? We still don't know, right? Mm-hmm. Like we have a world where you can actually live on your phone and you don't have to interact with people and you don't have to go outside and you don't have
real life Sims.
And it's and now AI is making it even worse. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm all for if you're not where you need to be in life, sometimes you don't need to be worried about women anyway. So I'm not disrespecting anybody that's not having sex. But what I am saying is that when a 25% of your population is not having sex, that's a problem.
It's not good for society.
That goes back to not having kids. All of this stuff ties in, right?
I was on with Caleb yesterday. We did the chat for Investopedia. Caleb, I love you dearly. Shout out to everybody in Indianapolis, who ransacked my boy, made him give an interview. I love y'all. But he broke it down. The new cost for the American dream is $5.2 million all in. How can you want to have 5 kids when the cost is $5 million? Now I'm talking basics. I'm not talking extravagant lifestyle and shooting basketball in the yacht like you, Magic Johnson. Just cost of car repair, PMI, mortgage, college, wedding, because of inflation. You can't afford to have 4 kids in this area. I remember, bro, when Boy Meets World came out and Fresh Prince was coming to an end, you can buy a nice house in the Midwest for $180,000, and if you worked at the mill or factory or post office, you to him they were balling. You can get 2 cars. Some of y'all even have side families in the next town over. It's impossible to do that now. Just from when we graduated high school, the median home prices in non-top 10 cities has went up 4x. I saw a home the other day in Gary. Shout out to Gary 219, Freddie Gibbs, Eddie Melton, love you, great interview on Breakfast Club. I saw a house in Gary for $700,000. That's 4 bedrooms. I'm like, what part of here? I know it ain't worth that. But the inflation is so damn high, and then we're in the middle of a recession that we won't talk about. The bond market has been under for 61 months. No one's saying a word. Like, America is dying and decaying right in front of our eyes, and all the social norms are going away with it as well. But kudos, man, I pray for the incels though, because those are the ones who end up having all this anger and doing acts of violence as a result.
School shootings, all types of stuff like that.
I didn't want to say it, but that's what's happening. Sex
is permitted for you as a human being. It's actually beneficial for you. Every creature in nature has sexual intercourse. It's done for reproductive purposes. It has social bonds. There's a variety of good. People always talk about the bad elements of it, but there's a variety of good elements that.
Yeah, the intimacy. Yeah.
It's an important part of life. It's an important part of life. So we got to encourage marriage, at younger ages, that's important.
And contrary to popular belief, everybody who want to be outside, they end up, if you stay too long, there's an expiration date on being outside and just moving around. You end up having negative effects on your life. PJ, I like the way you handled it. Stay out the way. But we're seeing real people crash out for being outside and on the scene for too long. And just to be real, for those of you who aspire to do it, a lot of times when we go to these places and people are acting like they're having fun on IG, they're miserable when that filter comes off, because they really want somebody to go home to.
100%. 100%. But it's only going to get worse. I would like to see these numbers in 2 years. It'll probably be 40% because financially they're not going to be able to survive. So, all right.
Well, let's help the fellas instead of criticizing. If they see a young lady that they love and they're enamored by, can you give them some tips to, if they're not as cool as you, on how to go introduce and then bag a girl or a baddie?
I feel like it's easier than ever now to do that.
But men are more afraid than ever. I had somebody in the Vest Fest be like, yo, man, you such and such. I'm like, go say hi. Grown ass man, afraid to.
You don't even have to do it in person. Nine times out of 10, you could do it on Instagram.
You may hit that request folder.
Hey, it's a numbers game. You never get discouraged. It's a numbers game.
Okay, how many buckets that be shooting?
Okay. If
some of y'all want to throw one Hail Mary, you got to do slant route sometime.
You have to do slant routes, and you have to know who. You don't just go.
Your target demographic is important too.
You don't just go after anybody.
Thank you. Hello.
You got to have a filter. Somebody that's following you. Okay, that helps, right? They already know who you are. Somebody that's.
What if they don't have no followers and they not lit, or they're lit in real life, but the social part won't show it?
Okay, you might have more limited options that are available to you, but you still got some level of options. It may not be 100, it may be 4.
Yeah.
Referrals. Go off the referral play. Referral play has always been the most beneficial. That's always been the most beneficial.
Friend of a friend? Oh,
friend of a friend. Tell your homeboy, tell your girlfriend, like like you gotta have people making introductions for you. Yo, I see you work with her, like what you think? Like, I mean, like, oh yeah. Or just go out of your way and ask, look, I'm single, I'm on the market. If you have anybody, yo, you gotta be intentional about this. This has happened to me before, where people have called me like, look, I'm single, and I know you're around a lot of successful people. Just keep me in mind.
Just in case. Yep.
Just in case. Right?
Yep.
Like, you have to be intentional about everything in life. Like, if you were a salesperson, you would do that. You would say, okay, look, I'm just starting my career. I'm selling life insurance, keep me in mind. But even better is to have strategic targets. Look, I was going through your page. I seen, I seen she worked with you. How do you
What you think? Yep.
Because if it comes through a referral, your chances are way better than a cold call.
Oh, that's like when Kobe hit that cross on Portland. Do it just smooth sailing.
But another thing is that, okay, if 24% of men are not having sex, but 13% of women are not having sex, so what does that tell you?
You tell me.
Well, the spoils of war, like there's an over an abundance for the okay, because
the kingmakers, right?
100%, because
hyper concentration. I keep telling y'all, there's no diversification. There's hyper concentration at every skill. Nope.
100%.
Yep.
The top 10% is over in abundance. It's an over in abundance because there's less women in the pool, more men that's opted out of the pool. That means that there's more women inside of the pool with less men that's available. You don't got to be a rocket scientist to figure this out.
Yep.
That means that the ones that's actually in the pool are
thriving.
in abundance.
Michael Phelps. And men, I'm just going to tell you, just work on something. It doesn't have to be money, because a lot of time this conversation comes up. It's like, well, I don't have XYZ. It's not about the money. It's about the confidence in what you're great at. Like, you have to find something that you pour your all into, because that's going to radiate out into the world. Got to pick something though. You can't be non-exceptional at everything. And some of the men I've met that bagged the most women didn't have any money. They just had a fucking preponderance of confidence. That matters. That matters. And don't be butthurt if a girl say no, because sometimes she may be doing you a favor and saving you from disaster. That's the other part that y'all men got to realize too.
No means no at all times.
Facts. Let it go.
At all times. Okay. Can we get into this Young Thug situation?
Oh my God. We can.
You know what? For me,
this hurt my heart though.
All right. Street politics aside, let's talk about, for me, I'm always interested from a business standpoint.
For sure.
So I think there's a lot of business lessons to be learned here. And one of the I mean, we can just go wherever it goes. But one of the comments. So, all right, if you're not familiar, if you've been under a rock, Young Thug, he was in jail, and now all of a sudden, all of his phone conversations from in jail started to leak on the internet. How that happened, that's another conversation.
That's my first thing. How did all this data get leaked?
Well, allegedly, they're saying that it's Public Information Act, that anybody, a journalist, whatever, you can request phone calls. You have to go through a whole list of things to actually get granted information, but you can request. That right there is crazy within itself.
You can get those calls in a FOIA request?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
You get interrogation video inside of an interrogation room. I personally think that the DA's office probably
allegedly
it probably
InvestFest. Get your replay to InvestFest at investfest.com. What the hey. Yeah. Dick Armstrong.
So okay. The leaks is crazy, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's done intentionally to try to destroy his character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he did himself any favor by coming out of jail the way he came out of jail, because it just gave a very arrogant type of vibe, right? He didn't really come out humble. He came back. It's on the same shit he left on.
Yeah.
Calling Gunna a snitch, going to Twitter. Like, it's just like, bro, like, just
you gotta
chill.
Stay chill. Okay, hold on. To be fair though, well, he hadn't got out yet. But I want him to be humble upon release too.
Who?
Senior Sean.
Oh,
yeah.
Did he? But Diddy hasn't done anything as far as
true, and that's what I'm saying. Just
in jail. He hasn't.
Yeah, he been real quiet. Minus the one little tweet. Yeah.
And hopefully he learned from these phone conversations.
I hope so too. Yep.
But okay, so a lot of phone conversations came out. One of them that caught my attention from a business perspective is that if you know anything about QC, quality control, Coach K and P, shout out to both of them. They sold their musical catalog. I think, Troy, maybe you can get the number. I think they sold it for like 180 million or 200 million, something like that.
Yeah, it was a good exit.
They sold for a lot of money. A lot of money. And from what I think I think the label is owned by P, and I think Coach K is like that right under that person, whether that's president, whether that's CEO, he's like right under that. 300 million. They sold it for $300 million.
That's a great exit.
So okay. So on that label is the Migos. On that label is Little Baby. On that label is Little Yachty.
Yeah,
and they manage the City Girls. I think they even managed
Cardi for a little bit.
Managed Cardi for a little bit. Okay, so part of that phone conversation was when Young Thug was talking to 21 Savage, and he was saying that he told Lil Baby told him that Scooter Braun came up to him and offered him 150 million for his catalog. And he said, I can't do that. I got to bring P into the conversation before I can make that type of deal. And then Scooter Braun went to P directly, and then P sold it for 300 million. So Little Baby, he told Little Baby, like, yo, how much you think you're going to get out of this? Put the seed kind of in his head.
In his ear.
And he was telling that to 21 Savage, how he thought that, man, like all right, first off, this is a teachable moment. Teachable moment. I said this before, and I don't want to, pal on Young Thug because he has a lot going on and he has a lot of battles that he has to fight. So I'm not talking directly to him. I'm just talking like in the overall.
In general about business. Yep.
The devil always whispers in the hearts of men, because why would you even plant that seed in somebody's head when Little Baby was somebody that was in the streets? P is somebody that actually saved his life. That's not exaggerating by saying that. Saved his life. Little Baby was not a rapper.
No.
Coach K encouraged him to rap. They put him in the booth, made him rap.
And Thug too, right?
I'm not sure about the Thug situation, but I know Babe, because it's in his documentary. Man, turned him into a superstar. I'm pretty sure he's extremely wealthy person on his own, right? Ownership is not the same as being a worker. That's something that we really got to understand in our community.
Yeah, Young Thug paid him to get out the streets.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is a solid thing to do.
For sure. But Mickey Fax had a dope bar when he did a freestyle for us early on, and he said something that was really dope. Where he was like, equity is not a reward for that's a paycheck. I forget what but the way he said it was like, a worker and a boss are not the same. They're not the same, because you took risk as an owner of a company that somebody that came in after that did not take and can't understand. So he doesn't owe Little Baby a 50, 75 million. That's not how this thing works. Like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You disagree?
I agree 1,000. That's why I always fight for equity and royalty and perpetuity and ownership. Because, like, okay, hypothetically, like, let's say we sell, let's say we have a water company and I'm just an ambassador of the water company and you get 900 million for it. Could I feel like, hey, I helped? Yeah, okay, yeah. But with the paperwork, if it doesn't say non-dilutable shares, important lesson, what you feel don't fucking matter. Now, does Baby have incredible value? Yes. And maybe you can argue Thug was looking out for his friend to say, hey, maybe you should go with P and try and sell your catalog. But how those arrangements usually work, you're not getting around certain individuals getting their cut anyway. So it doesn't matter.
But let me ask you this. The Lakers just sold. Right? They sold for $4 billion, I think.
Nothing for you.
Then they sold for $4 billion. Out of that $4 billion, how much did Magic Johnson get?
Settle. But
how much did Kobe Bryant's widow get?
I don't know. None.
How much did Shaquille O'Neal get?
Settle.
$10 billion. They sold for $10 billion. What I'm saying is
that's
that
really crazy.
When Chicago Bulls sell, right? Michael Jordan's not getting anything from that, and that's okay.
And it doesn't. Well, yeah,
but that's not taking advantage. They provided them an opportunity to become billionaires on their own. The Chicago Bulls and the NBA provided Michael Jordan an opportunity.
Well, the NBA doesn't allow players to own equity in the teams.
Nobody ever does, though. Not like when you work, right?
I don't know. I've never worked, so I don't know.
No, when I say you work, I'm saying
gotcha.
When you work, right? Nobody comes into a record label and becomes an owner of a record label.
They can buy in or negotiate in, because even in corporate, when you can be employee number 6,000 and get shares in a company.
That's different. That's a publicly traded company.
You can do it in private.
You can, but also you're not provided the same level of opportunity that a company does as opposed to a public platform. Okay. Right? If you are a web developer for Microsoft and you came in early, then you might have got paid in equity. A lot of times you're getting paid in equity because they don't have enough money to pay you. That's one thing.
Yeah.
And then you're getting paid in equity because, okay, nobody knows who you are. So your sweat equity is valued at a different level of appreciation.
Yeah.
I'm saying as far as a public platform comes in, you're already getting paid millions of dollars from the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. You're helping build the franchise in the league, but you're also building your own personal platform that nobody's going to benefit from that. Nobody ever talks about that. Okay, if you want a piece of the Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls needs a piece of Air Jordan.
Jordan brand.
That would be shark business, though, right? That wouldn't be right.
It depends on how, and this is a conversation we could have. We talked about it in media. There should be some transferable equity into all businesses in an ideal situation. That's like another conversation for another day. But also, if Baby didn't negotiate it, and I'm sure P probably looked out more at some point. I don't want to get into P and Baby business. Shout out to Coach K, Indianapolis. I love you. But I think it's I get what you're saying about Doug putting something into his ear. Maybe he was just talking to him as a friend. But that's a dicey situation, though, both ways. And I think Baby had enough value where he could have bought equity into it. And I think the biggest mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs and creatives make is thinking that you're owed something upon exit that you did not buy into or negotiate into from the very beginning.
And a lot of times people look at it from one perspective. They'll look at it, they could understand, everybody could understand, yeah, Michael Jordan should be the owner, should have equity in the Bulls because the Bulls wouldn't be there without him. He should actually have equity in the league because the NBA wouldn't be there without him. Okay. But nobody ever thinks about, okay, well, David Stern and Robert and was it George
Jerry Reinsdorf? Yeah.
Jerry Reinsdorf, they should have equity in everything Michael Jordan ever does for the rest of his life in perpetuity. That's what the 360 deal is, because I gave you an opportunity to reach millions of people, and your brand would not be the same if you played in the Canadian League. So being that I put you in a position to actually become a billionaire on your own outside of that, and I'm never going to benefit from anything that you ever do. Mm-hmm. Well, I kind of got screwed in that situation. Nobody ever looks at it from that standpoint.
They're putting people on and get what's up?
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I always say 360 deals is not a bad deal. It's not a bad deal for 360, because if you think about it from this, I'm gonna put everything in. This is Yo Gotti told us this when we interviewed him. I'm gonna put millions of dollars into you. I'm gonna bring you on tour. I'm gonna give you jewelry.
Co-brand you and co-sign you.
I'm gonna go on Instagram with you. I'm gonna do videos with you with no guarantees at all that you'll be successful. Mm-hmm. Actually, most people is not gonna be successful at all, and I'm gonna lose money on that. And then the one person that is successful, I'm only going to get 20% for 2 albums. No, I'm gonna need a lot more than that, because you wouldn't be where you are if it wasn't for me. And if you don't want to take that path, do the Master P route. Just go completely independent, not rely on anybody. But you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Russ. Yeah.
This is important. This is important to understand, because people have amnesia. You signed to somebody because you needed them. You needed the structure. You needed the push. You needed the finances. You needed them to get you on radio. You needed them to buy your streams. We'll talk about that later on. You needed it. If you didn't need that, you wouldn't sign a record deal. So you signed the record deal because you needed somebody. As soon as that's actually paid off for you, you feel like you're entitled to something else.
But P needed him too, because the Migos were having. We
need each other in business. In
combination.
Business, we always going to need each other. But what I'm saying is that I just like to play God's advocate, because I look at it from a different standpoint, because I understand how people can quickly forget everything that you've done for them, or quickly forget.
Oh, for sure. That's why I quit doing so much.
And then it's like, oh no, you didn't help me at all. I did this by myself. I need part of what you got. I'm never going to give you anything that I have. Yeah. And if you don't give me part of what you got, you're a thief. You screwed me over. You're a bad businessman. You're a snake. All of that. Like, damn, bro, I actually helped you.
Yeah.
P, no matter what you say about the situation, he helped Baby.
He helped elevate Baby Migos, for sure.
100%. So I don't know. I just feel like, it was just an interesting business debate from that perspective, and I just feel like Young Thug saying that to him, you planted that seed that might have been in it, might not have been in it. I don't know, but you planted a seed inside of his heart and inside of his mind, and that happens all the time. And now what happens? They unfollow each other on Instagram. They probably have a falling out. Who knows if and
I hope it gets amended. Yeah.
And nobody benefits from that. So now it's like a situation. Okay, you might have been mad that you didn't get money from the deal, but if y'all break up now it's not beneficial for anybody. A breakup is never beneficial for anybody. We talked about that at Joe Budden's dinner. Very rarely.
Yeah, it doesn't work out.
Do you become more successful? That doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's a rare because you end up splitting audience, splitting assets. But it's an old hip hop trope to have this kind of conflict and drama. But I think that's, once again, it's done and designed by the labels to make sure that they get the ownership that they need. So, because Universal and conglomerates don't go through this. Once again, going back to the Bitcoin or Ethereum, the job is to own both. Own every asset on earth that matters. But I did find it interesting that he admitted to paying for the bots to make his album #1 over Morgan Wallen. And if you don't know who Morgan Wallen is, superstar. So, sometimes you can just read the tea leaves and just be like, huh?
The country store?
Yeah. So
I think he's going to pay for Gunna's album to go ahead.
Yeah, Gunna's album. Yeah.
Because Gunna, he paid for, I think that's what it was. Gunna's album, right?
Yep.
Because it was
Gunna got some hits, but Morgan are different.
Well,
but Michael K. Williams reported on this. They got a little factory we can go pay. Some people in podcasting was doing it. You can pay $15,000 a month to knock the streams up. But I always like to see what that mean number. When you revert back to the mean, what the average listeners are per month, it'll tell the real story. And I hate to tell y'all, they're not the only artists that are doing it, and the labels are paying for it. There's too much fucking music that comes out every week. I think there's more artists than consumers. When I go see people, I'm like, bro, how do you average 26 billion listens a month? And that's like your music is based in America, Jamaica, and West Indies. The math isn't there.
100%.
I'm not a fucking mathematician, but like there's a lot of financial engineering and I don't want to say a Ponzi, but there's a lot of engineering in terms of listenership on shows. And I actually one time I'm like, yo, such and such paying for views to get. I'm like, how do you? They're saying 7 million people listen to the show a week. I never heard one person even talk about a clip. It's like, oh, it's part of the game. It's like, wow, okay, I didn't know. But I thought that was fascinating that he invested into.
The paying for bots thing is interesting story. I mean, obviously Kendrick Lamar, that's the whole thing with Drake, right? As far as like, you know, that's $1 billion lawsuit right there. And yeah, it's been confirmed. Obviously, that's another thing that came out from his phone conversation where he literally said, all right, we're gonna pay it. We're gonna, you know, you still got the connect, we're gonna pay, we're gonna, pretty much paraphrasing, we're gonna pay the booster number to make the album #1. And he said he did it in the past as well. So it's not a myth. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a real thing that people really do. And we said on Market Mondays, a big part of that is perception. The more albums you sell, the more streams you have, you're perceived to be successful, and people like to support successful people. That goes back to lifestyle marketing, right? Like if somebody sees you doing well, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be more amped to follow you than if they see you and it looks like you're struggling. Absolutely. So you want to always have that perception of power and success. I mean, it goes back to, once again, music business is a rigged business. Yes, my business. It's clubs, music, and women was the mob model. It's still a mob, but just at scale. Allegedly. So, yeah, the bot thing. Hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Pay to play. The office got raided at Universal, Sony, and other major record labels in Turkey as a result of bribery allegations regarding artists on label paying off individuals to have Spotify placement. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, 100%. And I do want to bring up this clip from Ray Dan, but before that, I want to go back to this the point before we go to the new point. Okay. Now, here's my theory. My theory is that if you sign to somebody and you don't own IP, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's up to you to get the most out of the situation on the spinoff. Okay, what do I mean by that? Michael Jordan signs to Chicago Bulls. He doesn't obviously own the Chicago Bulls, has no equity in the NBA, but he built his brand. He became the biggest shoe brand in the world as far as the Nike subsidiary and a variety of other different things. And then he comes back 30 years later and becomes an NBA owner. He got his equity on the back end based off of everything that he did. We can do Magic Johnson. We can do LeBron James. We can do the same thing. We can do, earn your leisure. Traditionally, everything that we do, we own, have some level of equity in. We do the deal with Revolt. We don't own that. That wasn't our show. But we understood that, okay, this is a relationship that's going to help us because it's going to open doors that we're not privy to right now. So we go into it knowing that, okay, we're going to be talent for this 2-3 year deal that we have. What did we learn? We learned how contracts work. We learned how the inner workings of a large level studio production works. We get our brand broadcasted to millions of people that may not have been familiar with us before, and we get to capture relationships on the talent side. You've seen Jada Waiter. You've seen Jada Waiter was at InvestFest. That comes through Assets Over Liability show. That's where we met her. Nick Cannon was on Blackout. We met him at Assets Over Liability show. That's how we met him.
Great interview, by the way.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, and shout out to Dame, but sometimes it's not all or nothing. I understand the model.
It's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid. It's a hybrid, but you have to be intentional. Now, it wasn't like, okay, we just going to sign, we just going to get paid, and we just going to just be oblivious to what's going on. That would have just been a waste of 2 years. We going in there like this is college. We got to learn as much as possible. We gotta get the relationships. We gotta make sure we get exposure. We on the show. We win our merch. That's going to help our merch sales. Even the show is Assets Over Liabilities. That's a trademark.
Even negotiating that is a key piece that people missed out on.
100%. So it's just like, you can't be an extremist. You can't be an extremist. You have to be a balanced person in business, but you always got to look at it like, okay, I'm a be in this position. I might not fully be where I want to be. Okay, cool. But it's still giving me an opportunity to leverage a lot of other stuff on my own that nobody else has anything to do with.
And most importantly, just ask, what can I do to buy 10 or 20% equity? That conversation does not happen enough. In some instances, they'll say, I'm not going to sell it. Okay, cool. You can negotiate from there. But in a lot of instances, they will give you a number for you to actually have equity at the table. Try it. So, because you can't be mad on the exit when you didn't. And that's the thing I love about publicly traded and even private equity. You can write a check to get whatever percentage you want, or build certain things in. I think just in hip hop in general, there's not a lot of great business people who navigate, and everyone's like, yo, I'm learning on the fly. Read a fucking book. Reading on the fly does not work. Not if you want to scale. No. That's cool, but you're going to end up making a lot of decisions, and the thing that you won't be able to get back is time. Because the equity you can negotiate in year 2 is different than year 7. It's different. Cap table may be closed in year 7.
And that's even Steve Stout said this about Nas when he first started to manage Nas. He was like, he didn't take the traditional 10%, 20% that a manager would get over every single deal, because he was like, he's not going to nickel and dime Nas over everything, because he realized that him working with Nas is going to put him in the position that he's going to be able to eat off of ancillary products that Nas has nothing to do with. That is exactly what happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if he would have been short-sighted and tried to get every little nickel and dime and then ended up getting fired. He's like, look, I'll sacrifice making a lot of money in this moment because I'm trying to raise my personal profile. And in doing so, I'm going to become a mogul off of things that our relationship has nothing even to do with.
Like, translate. I don't think people understand how big of an icon Steve Stout is to advertising at a time when black faces were not even put on major corporations. Like the whole Reebok, Iverson, Jadakiss, that was all Steve. It was a rarity at the time to have hip hop media be a catalyst for success for a brand. And you can argue since Iverson and Steve left, Reebok hasn't been the same. They've tried. I'm glad they got Shaq and AI involved, but his finger on the pulse helped that company at a time when they were fledgling. So
100%.
You're right.
And I think a lot of times that just goes back to a scarcity mindset versus an abundant mindset. Once again, not to labor the point, but little baby, like, yo, all right, don't even worry about what cute, like you hanging with Mike Rubin, you got 4 pockets full, you play your cards right, you're gonna become, $500 million. Like, it's just like
you can own 10% of Fanatics.
Focus on what's ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't focus on what's on the side of you. Don't focus on what somebody else got. Looking at what somebody else got is a scarcity mindset, because you don't think it's enough. So it's like you taking money from me. No, just focus on what's in front of you.
Yep.
And the last thing about this Young Thug situation I think is relevant in business is a phone call he had when he was talking about how Kendrick Lamar didn't want to give him a verse. You know what? You overextend yourself sometimes. It's not. Drake's a perfect example of that. It's ironic that he said Drake's name because Drake did every verse. Drake overextended himself. Drake
helped a lot of people, bro. Once I learned how he did those deals and didn't take the money up, what?
Where'd that get him? Dissed by everybody.
Yep.
Human nature. People are not going to be appreciative of things that you've done for them for the most part. They're going to grow resentment because you do something and then eventually you're not going to be able to do something. We talked about this before. At least Kendrick set boundaries early. All right, just don't like me in that moment. But you're not going to be able to diss me and come back and bite me in the back because I never did nothing for you to begin with.
Look, I ain't gonna lie. That's my new motto. Just do less.
Yeah.
My mom tell me all the time, you got one child. Why are you trying to look out for 62? You got one kid. Okay. Cool. Fuck it.
But that happens all the time.
That happens a lot, bro.
Us, people will get mad like, yo, people won't get mad because like you did something to them. It's what you didn't do for them. Like, yo, just put me on the Best Fest stage. Like, y'all got 100 speakers. You can't have 101 more speakers. They can't have one more speaker. But no, can't have.
While not supporting Market Mondays or Blackout or EYL. I had a bunch of people hit me up. Can I get on the stage? I'm like, I haven't seen you repost nothing of mine in 3 years. For what? I had somebody asked if they come on stage with me. I was like, for what? You see, I kill shit on my own. What time I say, hey, 56 minutes, people standing. For what? Nope. But biggest lesson, ask for the equity. I've done it. Every deal I am, yo, what can I buy? Yep. Buy in. And if they say no, cool. Go buy something else. Go buy something else. But in terms of equity, and especially write this in chat, non-dilutable shares, those are not given. That's like me going to Apple, but like, yo, I've been a great advocate. Let me get 7,000 shares because of my advocacy. Hey, I'm gonna get your black ass out there. I don't care if we don't buy no AI. No. No. Canopy Growth won't give me no shares. No. Buy your way in. Yep.
That's a fact. But yeah, protect your privacy at all times. And if you don't want to do something, never feel guilted into entitlement. Never feel guilted into entitlement of like, yo, you should do something for me just because you should do something for me. No, if it's in your spirit not to do it, unapologetically or no apology, don't do it. Because like I said, if you do it, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be grateful for it anyway.
Bro, I told you, and shit hurt my heart. I gave somebody some money, just gave it to them, got it before they said thank you. You should have wrote the check faster. I said, damn, okay, let's go broke. Now I'll have it. No.
All right. Okay.
Can we talk about this PJ Washington Brittany situation and as a guide for how to interact in co-parenting situations where there may be some heat in the situation? We don't got to play the clip, but I do want to say, because I don't want to, promote the mess. Brittany, friend of the show.
Please.
But fellas, it is your job as a man, no matter what happens. Number one, take care of your kid, which PJ is doing. Number two, though, no matter what they throw at you to upset you, especially if they're recording, how the mom was. It's going to end up in the docket and going to end up in family law court. Don't react. Don't say nothing negative. Thirdly, big piece of advice: don't show up in nothing flashy. Because especially if their life may not be going right, you don't want to antagonize at all.
But then also it goes down to, because we talk about this a lot as far as parents, men got to take care of their children. But we also got to have the conversation of a mother is not entitled to a man's success just because he's successful, over and above the provision that he's given for the child. What I mean by that is, she said something that was vitally important. She said something like, you spending $8 million on but you can only spend $10,000 on your child, something like that. So I'm assuming like the child support is probably like $10,000 a month or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough money to take care of a child. So I don't care if he got an $87 million contract.
Kudos to him. My boy been balling.
She probably looking at it from a standpoint of like, you get $80 million and you only giving me $10,000 a month. Well,
good lawyer too.
You're not in
there's a cap in Texas. Like what?
Okay. Your job is to take care of a child.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't take care of a child with $10,000 monthly, then you're making lifestyle decisions that need to be changed.
Sometimes when they fall out of heaven, it's a long fall from glory. And then you see who used to be with re-up. It's tough. Don't throw it in their face. It ain't worth the headache. And trust me, my stance was different. Maybe.
But even not throwing it in their face, what are you supposed to do? Live your life under a rock because some.
No, I'm just not gonna do it in front of you.
But it has to be. Instagram is in front of you.
I'm talking about in person. And you also too, depending on how your situation is, you can also have a meetup point, or you can have family members do the exchange so you can stay away from those situations. Every day I talk to my dad, whenever we get off the phone, he always say, protect yourself at all times. That means in every area of life. It's no different than if I go to the hood and I'm like, yo, I got 200,000 in my bag. At some point, somebody gonna try something to get to 200,000. It is your job and our job as men to be able to Euro step that shit like how he did in the finals and stay away from the drama. No, I don't think you should put on a cloth on a pickup, but I'm just telling the men as a person who has been through it, and I still get to sit in heaven. I'm telling you, just avoid the bullshit at all costs.
Well, the first part of that is be mindful who you have kids with, because she was already a person that was in that life already. So it wasn't like, that wasn't a surprise when this whole thing happened. That wasn't really a surprise. Then she changed her life around, took a shahada. I don't think that kind of might have been a gimmick, but who am I to judge, right? Seems like she's reversing, but nobody's perfect. But
everyone reverts to the mean of who they really are.
Everybody reverses back to who they originally are, you say?
Absolutely. You can only pretend for so long. Everybody reverts to the mean. Whoever you naturally are, you can, and that's the hard part about changing people. They may change who they are. Okay. Anybody that I've got into it with or who crossed me, when I go back and look and I talk to my mom and dad, they're like, well, they crossed X, Y, and Z before you. You just thought you was going to be the exception. And maybe they changed for 2 years when they're around you, when things are going well. And then they got mad and they reverted back. Great point. Everyone always reverts back. So I think she was sincere when she was with Kevin because he's walking in life a certain way. But once Kevin removed himself, allegedly, you're going to go back to what your normal is.
So she did it for Kevin Gates?
Yes, Lord. Shout to my dog.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Shout to Kev. Kev a good dude, y'all. Yes, Lord.
Oh, man.
Oh, tough. But yes, who you select. And that character is key, especially, boy, you get that GPT, that perplexity. Ooh.
No, but yeah, be careful. Selection is very important.
It's key.
Also, like I said, never, once again, this goes back to looking at somebody else's, what they have. If you getting $10,000 a month, that's a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a blessing. You're not struggling. You're not wanting for anything at that point in time. Is that enough to just?
Well, if they may not managing the money right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that enough to just ride out in the sunset and just, no, that's not, because $120,000 a year is not something that, you can just live like, you're going crazy. But child support is to support a child.
We know this, but yeah, just given technically child support is for the state not to have to pay the entitlement. That's a whole nother conversation. But because I think the state should mandate that it's managed a certain way, or a certain amount going into an UPMA, and that's a whole. I brought those conversations up. Some people here in Texas, they're like, bro, you got a better chance of building an ice wall in hell before that happens. So, but yeah, be careful. And PJ, all things will get better over time. Congrats on the contract.
Yeah, hold your head. Hold your head at all times.
Especially post breakup, fellas. Especially when they first going through that breakup and you didn't fill out of heaven twice or 3 times. Woo, gotta be careful. Go ahead, your cousin, pick the baby up.
Oh, wait a minute.
What happened?
I just chat GPT that they're saying that allegedly is $2,500 a month
for child support.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Key lesson, write this down. You have to know the laws for the states that you move in. There's a cap in Texas.
Oh, wait a minute. That changes everything.
Child support.
11,000. They said
it accumulate. I know. Okay, he doing like I do. He's gonna pay a bunch of months in advance. For me, I pay my 2-3 years in advance here, just in case.
That changes everything. They're saying the 11,000 was in. That's the amount of money that was in the kid's bank account. They said that his child support is $2,500 a month.
Yeah, because it's $2,100 plus the $400 in healthcare and insurance. There's a cap in Texas. Kudos to Ross Perot.
$2,500 is crazy. That's crazy.
What should it be since we go on pocket watch?
I ain't gonna do that as a black man. I would never do that. But that changes everything. Let's just say that changes everything. That changes everything. That changes things. I didn't know that. I thought the 11,000 was how much she was getting. 11,000 is how much is in the kid's bank account.
PJ, do my move. 24 months in advance. Make everything smooth.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
2,500, crazy.
Mm-hmm. Or that's when they were saying that she was Jayla and Drea, friends of the show. I love them both. Like, yo, she using him. I'm like, if she was using him, she would have had the baby outside of Texas. It's not usury and had a baby in Houston. They dating and think what? Heavy caps. What? Okay.
Strike everything that I said from the record. We can move on. But I stand corrected. You gotta know when you have misinformation sometimes. I had some misinformation. I stand corrected.
Gotta know the state you're moving in. And so when y'all do start having sex for y'all incels, you gotta know what the laws are. Because you'll get hit over the head in California. You come to Texas, come death row. Mitigate the risk. But pay 24 months in advance and set up. And the other part is you shouldn't want the mother and child to be in squalor anyway. Or close to.
For sure. For sure.
She only gonna give you hell. You pay $500 a little more extra, so it'd be extra juicy juice over there, or you go have to go back to court. I don't even want the headache. At this point in my life, I'm big on eliminating any headache in life. You don't like me, I'll stay away. I'll still speak highly of you, love you dearly. You don't like the presentation, kudos to you. Whatever you say, you got it. Cool.
So he has joint custody. That's another reason why he's able to pay so less. Because he has joint custody.
But even in Texas, the max that you can pay is $2,100 a month and $400 in healthcare and insurance after. It don't matter if he makes $72 million a year. That's the cap.
Is that the max you can make?
The max you can pay in Texas. I'm telling you, I've had plenty of time with counsel. But that's also why I pay 24 months at a time. In Texas.
The
Which I'm telling you. I have 26 hours worth of console bills that I pay for every. But if you are blessed, be a blessing.
Get them. So for one child, you know, 2,300 for 23.4 is the most you could pay for one child. If you have 5 kids, you pay $46.80.
This ain't Texas.
Texas
Hold'em. Texas
Hold'em. That's pretty.
My boy said, "Wow,
that's pretty astonishing."
This 8.
No, I'm just saying that's pretty astonishing that because they go on a cap of $11,700. No matter how much money you make, you're capped at $11,700, and then it's 20% of that, which is $23.40.
Yo, wow. When you gonna leave Houston for what? No state tax and mitigation risk? What?
It's
Governor Abbott.
Wow. That's
2 tech, 2 index, no stress. And set up for the kids, set up the UPMA accounts and the Roth, set all that shit up. Keep all the stress away. PJ, I would even get her an advisor, whatever one you at, and get her an advisor and throw some little money in there so you can't ever say that you didn't do what you're supposed to do.
You know, it's not that much more than in New York. New York is $2,500, $25,900.
That's crazy in New York.
New York, the most you can pay in child support is for one child is $2,593 a month.
That's crazy.
Oh shit!
See,
wow.
Hello. Now the alimony part, I don't know. But as far as it's just up.
Well, you know what the good thing about it is? You know what the blessing is? Not even knowing how much that is because you never had to go through that system.
That's true.
Like if you could work things out amicably.
Oh my God, that's the blueprint.
Like nobody wants to go to court and go through all of that. Like it's like if you can have a rational conversation with your partner and say, okay, look, this is how much money I'm making. This is a reasonable amount. This is no.
Because you're gonna give extra anyway. Yeah, I did, and this the other part. The lawyers are going to cause tumult in the communication of the parents anyway for their own benefit. I'll never forget it. Left deposition, and both lawyers going back and forth. You would thought they hated each other. Going to the parking lot, you see they leave together. I text my wife, yo, y'all friends? He said, yeah, we about to go on vacation.
100%.
I said, what? He said, yeah, we literally going to Bush Airport after deposition. We're going to Cabo. I said, oh, what? And I have to pay both. I ain't going to Cabo. I said, oh, the great line. Okay, I get it. It's WWE. Macho Man and Hogan were friends. But in front of the camera, we're going to act like we hate each other. Gotcha. I'll never forget it. $12,000 for my lawyer, $10,000 for her. I pay both. I said never again. I said I'd rather just get the money to you. For what?
That's a fact.
For what? And they had a time. I got motherfuckers send me pictures on vacation.
Damn.
I said, oh, okay. Gotcha. Be careful. Same thing happened in the business breakup. We got to splitting the assets. Bro, they're going to benefit more from the breakup of the business than you are.
100%.
Stay together. The big left, stay together. Work through it. Learn how to have, and especially in our community as Black men, learn how to say, I'm sorry. When Charlamagne called me, it's one of the things I was saying. Black men have to learn how to say, I'm sorry, this hurt me. How can we work it out? The 3 biggest phrases that are most important in our community is, this hurt me, I'm sorry. How can we work it out? Most don't go that way. So,
okay. I think we learned some stuff today. How you feel about Cameron dissing Dame Dash? I hate to see it. Me personally, I hate to see it.
I hate to see it for sure. And I like man, prayers for Dame, for real, because like Dame has been a pioneer in many ways. Dame doesn't get credit for it. I know Charlamagne has mentioned it recently, but Dame really was a cornerstone and foundational point in thought for the investing and financial literacy movement that is here now with their Breakfast Club interview. And just through what he built at Rockefeller, I don't think he was one of the first Black men in modern history to talk about ownership at scale. But I hate to see him and Cam get into it. I understand Cam has like, there's reasons why whoever attacks him, given his upbringing, he's always going to attack back. But I hate to see how close they were and them to be getting into it like this in public. I really do.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's just best to just not even say things, especially online. It's just, sometimes in life you just gotta have, no
Grace.
response. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Dame's even said stuff about us before, but I'm not going. You don't get nothing. You don't get no points for slandering Dame Dash at this point. It's like.
And I think Dame heart is pure. Yeah, it's not even worth to go back and forth. Yeah, and that's definitely my thing. I'm not going back and forth to nobody. You got it. I'm cool. I'm gonna leave it all on stage and all in Red Panda. Pause. Just pause.
Unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, prayers for that.
You can never. I think it's just so easy to say things now because we have the cell phone in front of us at all times, which gives us a 24-hour diary platform, whatever you want to call it. But I just feel like on both, even Dame, I feel like a lot of times Dame was just it's just no benefit in talking all the time.
I think it's a trauma response. I think some of it in not getting the credit that you feel like you deserve and helping people, not getting the help back later. I can see Dame's heart being broken, and I know it's flippant when I say it, but it's best not to help many people because often we want to help people because we want love from them. If you just heal yourself and love yourself properly, just focus on like 5 or 6 people that you want to help, and not expect people to do the same thing because a lot of times we think people will have the same heart that we have, and if it's not on paper, it does not matter. It doesn't matter. But Dame, if you need anything, I'm here. K Shotty, the group. I don't need no acknowledgement. If you need, I got you. You Eddie, whomever, hit somebody if you need help. I got you. But a lot of it is just trauma responses. And from a business standpoint, don't put anybody on that you don't want to see win more than you. That'd be the thing too. Like sometimes people will put people on, but they want you to be their underling. No, some of the people you put on gonna thrive. They're gonna go to the fucking moon. And be great in approach and in conversation. And one of the things that I've worked on and adjusted to the last 3 or 4 years, just being more jovial or not letting other situations affect how I interact with other people. I think that's one thing Dame has needed to work on for a long period of time. But that anger, if it's unresolved, it's going to come out that way for sure. But crazy.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Lastly, what you think of McDonald's CEO saying that we are living in the world of have and have-nots? Like if you're in the upper class, everything is going well, but if not, they're dropping their prices for damn near all of their products or food products that they serve. But he's basically saying that the middle class and lower middle class are in a recession and the have and have-nots are not. Even Vlad saying it's mandatory to invest. It's a scary time, but what do you think?
I thought everybody already knew that.
It's a lot of people who fight it. Even when we say the recession word, they're like, well, it hasn't been announced. And I'm like, but you can feel it.
Yeah,
you can literally feel it.
I thought that was common knowledge.
Because we're educated and we're in the markets and in business every day. I don't think a lot of people realize how tight things are for the economy.
Yeah, it's increasingly becoming that even more and more every single day. 100%. 100%.
Yep.
Do you want to play the Wack 100 clip?
We have to. We have to.
Okay. Play the clip.
If it start wrong, it's gonna end wrong, and I may catch some flack from this. To my Dom moves, to my keyways, my power rules, my grooves. Listen, this thing started for a positive reason. It shifted to a negative behind the leadership of most people that had a fifth grade mentality. Most people who didn't even understand what escrow was, a credit score was, who didn't understand, right, that there was a real world, who was using fear and manipulation to dominate our own people. And it's been over 4-5 decades that we continue to practice these ways. Listen, bro.
This nigga cooking.
At some time, we got to stop and realize the blind is leading the blind. We following the lead of somebody who has lost himself. We follow the lead of somebody who can't even fucking read and write. So we follow the lead of somebody.
Okay. Interesting perspective.
It's a great. It's so honest. So pure. Shout out to Wack. What you? I mean, I know your take on it, but what do you think of it? And then what do we do to correct the influence that gangs have had on Black culture for the last 40, 50 years?
Yeah, I agree. Everything he said. I don't agree with everything he says, but I agree with everything he said.
In this particular clip.
Right.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, can't argue with that. Pretty straightforward. And I think it's a lot of truth to it. And I think that, you saw the rise of gangs after the destruction of Black power groups.
Hello.
Coincidence?
I don't believe in organized coincidence.
And you never saw
not at scale.
And you never saw, because if America wanted to get rid of gangs, they would have got rid of gangs just like they got rid of the Black Panthers.
Damn, that's a great point. I never thought of it like that, but
look how quickly that they infiltrated them. They assassinated leadership. They put people in jail for 120 years. They strategically tore apart the infrastructure and they got rid of the Black Panther in a relatively short period of time.
Yeah,
where gangs have been able to thrive for 40 years.
You got Crips in Brazil.
Only thing that happens is people get arrested, but it's just a new cycle of somebody gets arrested, somebody else joins. There's never been a full dismantling of gangs. Have there ever been informants that go inside of the gangs? Not just informants as far as on the street level. I'm talking about like FBI trained informants, CIA trained informants, because that's the type of informants that was going inside the Black Panthers and Nation of Islam and all of those groups. They had CIA trained operatives that were going inside of these groups. They wasn't just regular rats on the street corner that got picked up and turned snitch. Like so have they done that with organized crime in Black community? I don't think so.
It's way above my pay grade, but I agree with you, brother.
Wow. So if they haven't done that, then that's telling you something. If they haven't destroyed it, that means that it's working.
That's the reason why.
It's accomplishing their goals. I don't see any benefit in it. And I have a lot of friends that are in gangs. So
yeah,
I've had conversations with them, and some of them told me like, no, there is benefits in it. But I'm like, no matter how much good you're doing, if your overarching thesis is that you have to go to war with another Black person, there's no good that can come from it. No matter how many turkey drives you do, and no matter how many you could do a community block party, whatever, if your overarching theme is that you have an arch enemy, because they all have some level of arch enemies, and all those arch enemies are Black people, there's no good that comes from it.
Even in the same sense, yo, like it's a lot. So I'm not in y'all business, but man, there'd be a lot of infighting just in the own sets of the same gang. It's insane.
It's time to really bury street culture. I said it on Instagram, but hopefully if any good comes from this whole Young Thug situation, it goes to show that there is no honor amongst thieves.
And she's been dead.
Yes, but now it's like just stop glorifying it, because if given the opportunity, 99.9% of all these guys would turn on each other and bite behind each other's back and do all of this, and you know, it's just, that's just the reality of it, right? Like, so don't glorify the worst aspect of society. Criminal activity, jail, all that shit is the worst. That's the worst aspect of society. Don't glorify that.
Focus on your family and friends. Going back to what we talked about at the beginning. Focus on your family and immediate friends.
Yeah.
That's it. That is it. Focus on family and friends. For those of the two of you who may say, well, the Italian mob were families. I know. I'm aware. Focus on your family and friends and shit that really matters.
And even that, they was telling on each other and doing all this shit behind each other's back and killing each other and all of that. Like, it got glorified as far as the Italian mafia got glorified in movies. But it's not glorified in Italian culture the same way that illegal activities are glorified in Black culture.
Yeah.
And that's probably the only other, because you go to China, there's no glorification of the Chinese. There's a Chinese mafia.
For sure. One of the most powerful, but it's not
held in that level of regard and respect. And
not by everyday citizens, no.
And kids grow up wanting to. If you fall into that, you fall into that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not held in that same level of regard. There's an Indian mafia. It's not held in that same level of regard. If you're in it, though, any level of poverty is always going to lead to criminal activity anywhere in the world. But stop glorifying it, because there's people that don't have to follow that path, that's willing, that are voluntarily signing
going to that life,
because it's been glorified for so long that they're going out of their way to become a gang member.
Yeah, and there's no money in it long term.
It's no money in it short term. Like, short term, whatever people think. 95% of any street dude is broke. That's a fact. So why would you want to sign up for something where you're going to be broke? You're going to have to deal with violence internally, externally. You're not going to have anything to show for it. You're going to be in and out of jail. You have a possibility of getting killed potentially. Why would you? What's the benefit of signing up? Like, I always look at a risk reward ratio. There's a lot of risk with this. What's the reward?
In 70s, 80s, and 90s, you can understand it because the information gap was so wide. But like now, there's no escaping. There are other ways to get money that are a lot easier and have a lot more benefit long term. Just even in streaming. Let's take out crypto and investing. There's so much more money you can get out there, especially now with AI. There's no reason to be involved in the activity, but what do I know? Stay away from it
at all times. At all times. Okay.
Let's see. Young Thug, PJ Washington, Drake. I love you dearly,
Drizzy.
But sometimes it's best to act unbothered. Sometimes the best response is no response, is just to live your life. Kudos to Bobby to getting her career back off, because I thought she was dead. Ooh. But Drake, just be unbothered. Just be unbothered. Especially with the little Spotify scandal and the bots. Ooh. They readjust them numbers. You back up top. Just chill. Be unbothered. One of the best things you can do in life if you're being attacked sometimes is just to not give a damn what they're doing. Stay focused on what you're best at.
100%. 100%.
Yep. What else? That's it.
Oh yeah, congratulations to French Montana. He got engaged.
The French, one of the greatest of all time to do it, y'all. Hey, Hulu. Hire up the doc. My God, what talking about a icon? Woo, Montana.
He has a unique ability to make people like him. That's a skill set within itself, because
being likable.
Being likable. You come from Morocco to America, to the Bronx at a young age. You don't know how to speak English. You go to one of the worst environments that you could possibly go to, and you survive. That's an accomplishment within itself.
For sure.
Then you manage to gravitate to Max B, start the whole wave of the Cocaine City DVD, and you become endured by street culture. Max B, takes a liking to you. Then you go to Atlanta. Waka Flocka takes a liking to you. You become, best friends with him.
Too. Yep.
Sign a deal with Akon. Akon takes a liking to you. Starts to hang out with Meek Mill. Meek Mill takes a liking to you. Then you start to scale up with Rick Ross. Rick Ross takes a liking to you.
Well, I have a good work ethic and putting out music.
Then you really scale up in the friendship ladder and become Diddy's best friend. And he takes a liking to you. And then you go to Drake.
Yep, that was tight for a little minute. Yep.
And then Drake, you become Drake's best friend. He takes a liking to you. And then you go out of this world and you marry the princess of Dubai. He has a unique ability. I don't know what it is because I never met him before, but he must have a magical personality.
Would you rather be around a kind person or an asshole that bothers you all the time? Like even Snoop, like you take Snoop, although he can have his gruff moments, generally likable personality. If you look at the Fortune 20, most of the CEOs are likable and charming people.
That's a fact. But even
look at Bezos.
I heard Diddy say this before about him. He was just like, "Yo, that's my best friend. That's my brother, man." He just got his spirit. Good
spirit, good energy.
Like he's been gifted with a special talent. I'll tell you that much. Because it's not a coincidence that this keeps happening to him.
Yeah. Or the lesson is, if you have good energy, good spirit, you'll continue to ascend despite your circumstances and where people think you should be.
And we talked about his corporate relationships. He's top 3 snipers of all time. I'm not even gonna go down that path. But we forgot about Khloe Kardashian, and he sniper category is on a whole nother level as well.
Yeah.
So man, this guy is pretty legendary.
Sometimes in business and in life, even a sniper, being the most likable person and just having good energy at a 10 consistently, that's a great asset to have. It's a great asset to have, yo.
Well,
the Rock is another one. Good energy. He's found ways to, Kevin Hart, another one. Yeah. Who has that quote? Like finding a way to be in a good mood despite bad circumstances is a asset. I think Hormozy said that. That's true. That's true.
Stay close. Stay close is the number 1 rule of success.
Yep.
He's mastered that. He knows how to stay close. I'll tell you that much.
Because it takes a lot of energy to be a negative person. I tell people this all the time. Like, you have to go out of your way to have a bad attitude and fuck up your vibe. You can just literally sit and don't say nothing and be good energy. Yep.
Yeah.
So Alex, good energy. Good energy.
Good energy at all times.
Every time. It matter, bro.
He's out of here. I'm pretty sure you won't. He's out of here at this point. I mean, he's out of here.
Montana.
You marry into the royal family of Dubai. It's over. It's over. You gonna have a kid soon, I'm assuming. It's a pretty remarkable story. Immigrant from the South Bronx.
It's a Disney story.
Works his way up to become a royal family member in Dubai. That's actually pretty astonishing.
Yeah, that's
actually pretty astonishing.
I can't live in, yo.
That's actually pretty astonishing, man.
What?
Immigrant, ex-drug dealer, got shot, street dude, worked his way up, music business, and before you know it, it ends up in the royal family of Dubai.
Yeah.
Only in America. Only in America. Mm-hmm. Only in America.
Disney story, yo. Ladies got the notebook, fellas. This our notebook, yo.
100%.
What?
100%.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Damn.
Nothing else to say?
No. Dubai. Shout out to Daniel. M2M Con coming soon.
M2M Con on the way.
Yep.
Shout out to the good folks in Dubai. We will be out there. We will be out there soon.
Very soon. Can't wait.
All right. Real.
Oh, Daniel Eck from Spotify. I love you dearly. You gotta make sure that if you have received any benefits from the bots, that they were an organization who initiated that on their own. I know legal counsel's already told you that, but while we're going through this great restructuring, we can't keep having this bot conversation come into play. It's not great for that stock price. Which Spotify's been killing it. So, would you buy bots for a show?
I mean, I never knew how. See, the thing about it is, I never really knew how to do that. I never knew how to. Even with French Montana, I salute him, but I always had to take a harder pathway because I'm an antisocial person. I never even really liked being around people anyway. So I never really had the luxury of.
We got to work on our personality and be more agreeable.
So I salute anybody that can actually figure that out and tech and going and getting in relationships. And all like this shit is just powered off the muscle.
Yeah.
So that's what you got to go with. Like you go with typically things that you know. It's not like we didn't come up through like social media engineering and having to do even like the whole click funnel thing and all that. It's not anything that we really ever figured out, mastered. It's just like, yo, we got a product. It is the product. Might offer a sale every now and then, but it's just like, yo, you
if you want it,
right? Type shit. All the, that it's just a lot of shit on the internet, which I'm not knocking none of it, but I'm just saying, I didn't come up through those channels, so I can never fully understand it. How to do it. I don't know how to do it. Like I don't know how that works as far as like, okay, we're gonna buy bots for this show to make this show look like, yo, we got a show. If y'all want to watch it, y'all gonna watch it.
Yeah. The impact is felt though. I will say that.
It's like, everybody that watches is a real person. We appreciate it. Look, we gonna be okay financially. It ain't that serious.
It ain't that serious, yo. Yeah, the fact Yeah. God is good. All the time. God is good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. See you guys tomorrow at 6:00. We're going over grant funding for your business. Vitally important. All right. Peace.
Love y'all.